Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our webinar, and the topic which we will be discussing today is all we should look for in a perfect PWA solution for e-commerce. We are very excited to share our thoughts and thankful to all of you for joining us. Let me introduce myself first. I am Gulshan Chitransh, working as Senior Software Developer at CedCommerce. And I have Gary Smith along with me here, who is Channel Manager at Nexus. He will be sharing some important insights for the business aspects of PWA and the role of Nexus in it.
Hey everybody.
Okay, so before starting up with the webinar, I would like to first brief you about the points which we will be covering in this webinar. We will be starting this with what is PWA, then key factors for the PWA solution, why should we care about PWA over native web apps, obstacles while implementing PWA, points to be considered before implementing PWA, website criteria to qualify as PWA, how to implement PWA on your e-commerce, what business situation really benefit from PWA. After this, what is the role of Nexus and CedCommerce in it? So let's start. First of all, I will provide a short introduction about PWA. We all might have heard of the term PWA, as it is a very hot topic nowadays, and every e-commerce business owner is either moving towards it or planning for it in the coming future. A progressive web app, or PWA, is a web application that uses mobile web technologies and design patterns to provide a reliable, fast, and engaging user experience. They are able to work offline and act like a native app on mobile. So, PWA is basically a normal web page that can act like an app, providing the essential features of both the website and mobile application like push notifications, add to home screen, and many more. Now we will be discussing some key features of PWA. Capability of offline work. Progressive web apps are not only ultra-fast apps, they can also continue to work even when the user is offline or has an unreliable or slow internet connection. Service Worker is the technology responsible for that feature. It allows the app to store things offline and flexibly manage network requests to retrieve them from the local cache. Discoverability and easy installation. A PWA, since it is a website with some extras, can be discovered through the regular search engines like Google or Bing. There is no need to dig through the piles of apps. A PWA installation is just like a piece of cake. It happens in the background during the first visit of the website. Usage of phone features. PWAs have a lot of possibilities to access device features on Android and a few less on iOS. The uses of camera, GPS, or fingerprint scanners in the app way enriches the user experience. Automatic updates. Launching a new version of a mobile app can be a nightmare for publishers, and with PWA, there is no need to wait for Apple's or Google's acceptance and have users download the update. All we have to do is upload the new file to a server and that's it. Safety and security. By using the HTTPS protocol, the data which we transmit is encrypted and thus more difficult to intercept and change. App-like feeling. The whole idea standing behind PWA is finding a way to connect the best possible experience, an app-like one, with the open nature of the web. Now we will discuss why should we care about PWA over native web app. We will try to cover some points in it. Reach. The mobile web audience has grown at huge rate over the last few years. Google has reported that Chrome has whopping 1 billion mobile users compared to the 400 million users in 2016. For the reports, the reach of mobile web is 2.5 times more than that of that. if we could provide a better experience to a wider audience, we could surely get a competitive edge over the others. Acquisition. Another serious concern faced by the mobile app is their user discoverability compared to the websites. The user acquisition cost of the web will be 10 times cheaper than that of native apps. With more exposure and low friction for onboarding, PWA is likely to acquire more users at very less expense. Conversion. The seamless end-to-end user experience provided by PWA improves the number of successful conversions. Flipkart launched their PWA Flipkart Lite, which they claim to have delivered an increase in the conversion rate by around 70% with lower acquisition cost. So the overall summary is PWA helps to improve conversion by increasing potential reach with lower acquisition cost. And here is one real example of AliExpress. After implementing their progressive web app, AliExpress saw conversion rate for new users increases by 104%. This new strategy also delivered a much better experience. Users now visit twice as many pages per session, and the time spent per session increased on an average of 74% across all the browsers. Next, we will be discussing what are the obstacles to implement PWA. Need of expert developers. First of all, you will need expert developers who have a strong grip on the React framework for connection with the backend. Also, some API experience will be required. It will be based on either REST or GraphQL. Developing progressive web apps is a tedious process. PWA is not actually a website, but a large-scale app that has the liquidity to fit on every screen size. It is also compatible with every OS. So like this, there are many other points to be noticed. Then missing device native features. As developers, we want to use the full capacity of a device, but with progressive web app, we can't do that at the moment. There are still a bunch of native device features missing. Users look for apps in the App Store. A huge hurdle on the path towards adopting PWA is users' behavior when it comes to installing new apps. For instance, want to have a new weather app for a smartphone, you're most likely to look for it within your pre-installed App Store on your phone. However, the PWAs are not distributed by the App Store. What and what not to cache? It's very difficult to keep a track of what you can and what you can't cache. Regular caching is necessary, hence you will have to be more cautious while caching any data in PWA. So we need to observe technical information carefully to prevent it from being cached. Maintaining updates is a tough job. Native apps are updated in short time intervals and the process is continuous. On the contrary, progressive web apps can't be updated, at least not as frequently as native apps. Getting full insurance for changes that may take in the place in the future in any OS for a progressive web app is impossible. Why can't be sure about that, right? Now time-consuming integration. The process of integration can be a very time-consuming process in regards to the progressive web app, as we are already having a benchmark that's set by the native apps. Now we will cover some must-have features for your e-commerce PWA. Consider these points before implementing PWA. Mobile-first approach. In terms of experience, a PWA is much like a typical native app from the user point of view. So it's great to take a native app design as inspiration and benchmark it to build an app-like interface. Your PWA should be built around user expectation of a native app to reach its full potential and deliver a mobile-first experience in your online store. Social media integrations. Integrations with your customers' favorite social networks are great for acquisition and engagement of your PWA. Using social media integrations, you can streamline the registration process for your new users by letting them log in quickly via preferred social account. It actually removes the hassle to fill a long form before enjoying the benefits of the customers. Web push notification. With a simple one-click option directly from the PWA, targeted push messages can be sent to users' device based on the location or behavior. These notifications look and feel just like those from native app. Even if the browser is not currently running, web push notifications have delivered drastically higher engagement and retention from push-enabled users, according to case studies by Google itself. Enhanced checkout. Because e-commerce PWAs are talking about making online purchases, so checkout is the main area for optimization if you want to create great revenue for your business. To achieve that, a set of features and functionalities are provided to help customers to complete the checkout process quickly and easily. Reporting and analytics. The best way to optimize your PWA performance is having a comprehensive analytics system integrated into the web app. The analytics system collects and reports the data so that you can make sense of user experience. With the app, identify the correct areas for improvement. Search engine optimization. There are several technical challenges involved in making sure that PWA is discoverable. Typically, search engines treat PWA like a JavaScript-based website. This results in some issues that may impact its SEO performance. If SEO is optimized properly, PWA can provide business with great benefits in terms of visibility and customer acquisition. Security and safety. Using HTTPS for the entire site helps protect payment transactions, secure the user accounts, keeping your communications, identities, and browsing information private. Let's see some criteria that a website must fulfill to qualify as PWA. In this, we will get to know some technical terms. HTTPS. PWA needs to be served over HTTPS to ensure a secure and safe environment and transmission of data. For this, we will require an SSL certificate too. Web app manifest. A PWA needs a web app manifest. It is basically a JSON file containing all meta information the device needs to know to be able to install it on the home screen. The file contains information such as icons, colors, fonts, landing page, URLs, etc. And the last is service worker. It is the most important ingredient of a PWA. These are technically JavaScript proxies, unlocking capabilities such as offline mode, instant speed, and capability to send push notifications. Now we will check how to implement PWA for e-commerce website. There are many solutions that are already available which can help you easily create a PWA ready website. So let's see some of them in our next slide. First one is CedCommerce. It is a front-end PWA solution and ready to use, developed by a French agency created for Magento stores. After that we have Standard. It is the first open source PWA theme for Magento. This enhances the Magento store. The theme supports instant loading time, home screen app, offline mode, push notifications, many more. After that, View Storefront. View Storefront is a headless e-commerce progressive app written in Vue.js. It can be a front-end PWA for Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, etc. And in the last, we have PWA Studio. The Magento PWA Studio comes with a group of developer tools to support the development, deployment, and maintenance of a PWA storefront on the top of Magento 2.3 and above. It uses modern tools and libraries such as Webpack, GraphQL, and React.js to create a system and framework that sticks to the Magento principle of extensibility. Using this theme, Magento provides a demo storefront named as Venia theme. With the PWA Studio project, you get the Luma theme by default by installing Magento packages. CedCommerce also worked on PWA Studio and developed a theme that is Xenia Pro theme, extending the functionality of Venia and providing our customers with some great features and user experience. By using this approach, we will be able to get all the feature updates and upgrades done by Magento open source community. By the way, we will be discussing about Xenia Pro theme again in the future slides. Before that, I would like to request Gary to share his thoughts regarding the business situation, the benefits of PWA, and the role of Nexus in it. Okay, so Gary, all yours now. I will be making with the presenter.
Okay. I'll get my screen sharing going here. Gulshan, if you can take your slides off. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Gary Smith with Nexus. I appreciate Gulshan the opportunity to speak. CedCommerce and Nexus are partnered up to support Xenia PWA Studio. We're a leading host of Magento sites. We host a number of Magento 2 sites. We still host Magento 1 sites, and we have solutions ranging from as low as $59 to cluster solutions for enterprise merchants. So we have a Magento solution to cover just about any situation that you might run into. And what I'm here to talk about today is a couple of things. Talk a little bit more. We've had a great technical introduction to how PWAs work and what the benefits of them are. I want to kind of get us into some of the applications of PWA, what situations as an e-commerce merchant would put you in a position to most benefit from PWA, help you look at your site situation and see what the business benefits of PWA might be. And then we'll come back to how it works technically on Nexus and how we can support you with a hosting solution for all of that. I have been a merchant in a past life. I started out way back in the early 2000s with Miva and a few other platforms, and I was last an active merchant on my own with Magento 1, so that was about 5 or 6 years ago. And PWAs were a bit after my time as a merchant. But I can tell you what some of the benefits that I could have taken advantage of as a merchant, and let's look at some of these situations and see if they apply to you. If you really need the features of the mobile device, if you can really benefit from being able not just to present something that seems and feels like a traditional website on a mobile device, that maybe beyond just being optimized for mobile in terms of the graphics and presentation, but to really take advantage of all of the devices that are part of a modern smartphone or sometimes tablet. So for example, the camera. If you want the ability to show your product in a live setting, or if you want your customers to be able to submit photos to a site, you can take advantage of that with PWA architecture. If you need to be able to use location services efficiently, if you want to be able to show your customer where the nearest retail locations are, or show them custom offers that are customized to their geographical region, then location services will be of benefit to you. I think the next point is really huge because I tell you, when I buy anything, if I'm sitting on a couch using my phone to buy something, and if I have to get up from my couch and go find where my credit cards are and start entering a credit card number using that little keypad on my phone, I may forget all about it by the time I've done it. It may not seem like such a good idea to buy that thing by the time I've done all that. I may just not want to get out of my chair. But with native payment support, I could just use Apple Pay. I use an iPhone. I could just use Apple Pay or Google Pay if I had an Android phone, and just click a couple of buttons and use one of the credit cards that's already stored on my device. So native payment is just such a great tool for getting people from, hey, that's a neat idea, to I just bought that, with very little friction. The ability to actually make use of the push capabilities of a modern phone is also important. Not to rely on text messages or other workarounds, but to truly have push message ability on your device so that your shopper can know what the order status is, can be given offers from time to time if they've opted into that. In fact, there's a question about this, I think, that relates to this on the Q&A that we'll get to at the end, answer more explicitly, but to be able to put an icon on the home screen, to make that PWA operate as much as possible like a native app, so that the shopper can find your site on their home screen. They can put that icon in whatever group on their phone that they want to, so that they're not just having to Google you all over again every time they want to find your site or type in a URL. That can be a huge benefit, particularly if you're offering a product or service that's frequently used, frequent repeat business. And lastly, and I think that we probably think that we have internet access everywhere we go, depending on where we live, but offline access is really important, because even today, even in highly industrialized areas, we really wind up with little or no internet access. Either, we don't have it, or it's very slow, or we have limited bandwidth to use. And the fact that PWA supports offline access really means that we can load a lot of assets to the device if the user gives us permission, and even build logic into the site so that we can really let them use that as a tool to the greatest extent possible, even when our internet access has gone away. So those are some, I think, features to look out for. Like, if your site can take advantage of those kind of features, then in this day and time, you really ought to be looking at PWA. And as Gershon talked about, you consider that architecture rather than going to a native app. Business to business, B2B, is really near and dear to my heart, because that was really my first career, selling industrial equipment and supplies. And business to business needs custom workflows. You've heard the old cliche, think outside of the box. Well, I think in e-commerce, particularly after 2020, we need to think beyond just a kind of transaction where we have a packaged good, our shopper buys it, we put it in a box, and we ship it. Business to business transactions require all sorts of customization, because there's just no limit to what kind of things that a commercial buyer may be interested in buying from us. They may be buying aggregate materials by the pound or by the yard or by the foot. They may be buying completely custom products that are built together from components that we have sitting on the shelf. We may be completely custom fabricating something for them. And there's just, what I've found about business to business e-commerce is that every situation is a little different. I'll give you an example that shows you the difference between being a consumer and being a commercial buyer. I used to be in the t-shirt business. I used to sell embroidery and screen printing. And so where me as a normal consumer might buy 1 or 2 or 3 t-shirts. When I was buying for the business, I was buying 500, 1,000, 2,000 t-shirts. And to place an order that large from my suppliers typically involved finding as many of those t-shirts, which generally had to be all the same color in sizes from small to 2X or even 4X. To get all those t-shirts together in all those sizes in multiple dozens per size, I had to look at different warehouses that my supplier had. And as I spent several years in that industry, and toward the end of my time in that industry, the better suppliers had a better website that let me see exactly what the stock from all those warehouses was in real time. And they were the ones that got the business from me, not the ones that I had to call on the phone and find out what they had. So we're in a day and time now where we need to be able, as buyers in a business-to-business setting, we need to be able to look at a website, including looking at it on a mobile device, that can give us that kind of real-time information. I want to talk about how, if you're running a business-to-business operation, how your salespeople can be part of that. Because often we have a sales force that provides expertise and assistance to customers when they're buying what we sell. And rather than seeing it as an alternative, sometimes I think that we ought to see the website built on a PWA architecture as a tool that our salespeople can use. Often the salespeople assist customers with orders. Sometimes they even go on site to help them do that. And I think that goes back to where the ability to do certain things without internet access, again, really comes in handy. Because often, if you're in a warehouse environment or even outdoors in a yard environment, you either don't have internet at all, or you have very low speed or limited internet access through a phone or the like. So the ability to show large pieces of information, if you've got a big catalog with all kinds of options and things in it, the ability to have that catalog loaded on a device so that it loads rapidly instead of you standing there with your customer waiting for a big product image to load is a huge benefit of PWA. So those are some things to think about when particularly if you're a business-to-business merchant. I mentioned earlier that we would talk just a little bit about how Nexus supports CedCommerce and the Xenia storefront, and I wanted to come back to that because maybe you're convinced that this is worth looking at further, but you may still be wondering, well, where do all the pieces and parts of this live? What are all the layers, and what do I need to do to install this? I think that's a great benefit of the Xenia storefront by CedCommerce, is that it is a simple architecture. Everything can live on one service, and Nexus supports it all. You can just simply get one of our cloud plans, for example, and install Magento 2.4 is the latest version numbers, but anything from 2.3.5 you can install on Nexus. You need Composer to make this work. We have Composer standard on all of our plans. You need the Upward PHP connector. You can install that on the same server. And then you put the Xenia theme on top of all that. And again, everything runs in the server. You don't need to subscribe to another service to make all this work. Just get Xenia and get a Magento plan with Nexus, and you can make it all work in one environment. You can build on a local dev environment and deploy it to our servers for staging and production. And like we say, one hosting service will support it all. So that's what I have, and back to you. I appreciate your time, and we'll go from here. Bill Shannon. There you go.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so thank you, Gary, for this informative session about the side benefits of PWA and contribution of Nexus and CedCommerce in it. Now we will have a look at CedCommerce hands-on experience with PWA along with an interesting case study. CedCommerce Senior Pro theme for Magento 2 utilizes the robust technology of Magento PWA Studio, React.js and GraphQL. Several designs and feature improvements have been made in the PWA theme to facilitate improved user experience and traction on your website. In this theme, we have modified the design to look more appealing for buyers. Some important features are also added in it, which are missing from Venia, like tier pricing, newsletter, etc. Now we have a fully configurable homepage and a well-designed checkout page for order placing. The speed is also improved due to headless technology and service worker. Senior theme is also compatible with different mobile devices and browsers. One of our clients, Miss Bukma, wanted to make wearing mask cool and trendy among the fashion-savvy population. It was something that has far implications given the timeline of COVID-19 pandemic that was tearing through the entire world. So we decided to go with the Senior Pro theme and some modifications in it to create a website for closed face masks. Now, why did they use headless PWA theme from closed face mask? Actually, there was a straightforward approach to create a website that could engage mobile-based audiences and perform with a very smooth fluency. The page speed was an enormous factor too. From the requirements shared with CedCommerce, we were pretty sure that the headless Magento PWA theme would be a perfect match to meet this requirement. It offers a super fast page speed, a visually engaging front end, a well-tuned service worker to back the operations. CedCommerce is the contributor to the technology which could support such a wonderful startup in achieving its goals. It duly addressed a lot of aspects in this PWA solution, which any ordinary website can't achieve. It is a pleasure to serve businesses with a solution that works for them, and we are very pleased to say that we contributed with an efficient solution for closed face masks. So, if you want to start your online business or upgrade it to the next level, now is the time to get a future-proof platform for an e-commerce solution. Embrace the change, adopt PWA for e-commerce. For the same reason, CedCommerce and Nexus came together to help you achieve all these within no time with Senior Pro theme and Magento 2 hosting, providing you a fast, engaging, and user-friendly PWA platform. So now, as we have 5 minutes of time, please let us know if you are having any query regarding PWA or hosting. Me and Gary will be glad to answer.
Looks like we got some questions in the chat.
Yeah, I'm checking that. One question which we are having is, how is Senior Pro theme different from other solutions which we mentioned in our slide? So I will be going to answer this. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Senior Pro theme is based on the PWA Studio, which is provided by Magento itself, and so the upgrades that Magento will launch for PWA Studio at their end will also be available on our theme as well. Moreover, we are providing some advanced features also in our theme, like support to multiple payment gateways, one-step checkout, enhanced UI. Also, the team is continuously working on developing additional features compatible with our theme. If we are extending those features of PWA Studio, then obviously we are going to get those benefits. And we are having one more query. So Gary, I would like to that you will answer this. Which plan would you prefer or recommend for hosting PWA using Nexus?
Okay. Well, to tell you about what kind of plans we have generally, our smallest cloud plan is $49 a month, $59 with an Elasticsearch container, which you're going to need. It provides for about 20 concurrent users, and we go up to what we call a 2XL cloud plan, which costs $849, allows you to have about 120 concurrent users. I would suggest, in most cases, if you are planning on a PWA implementation, which is going to involve having some additional environments on there, as we discussed, I would be looking at the large through 2X plans, which run between about $300 to about $850, as I mentioned, because that tier of plans from large through 2X has some allocated resources, like a guaranteed amount of CPU capacity and guaranteed amount of RAM capacity, and that will ensure that you have adequate resources. What you can always do is go to nexus.net and start a chat with sales, and they can talk with you further about how much space you need and the kind of resources you require.
Okay, thanks. So no more queries for now, as we are already running out of time. You can mail us for further queries and we'll be answering for sure. So I'll be winding up with this session. Thanks, Gary, for joining us today in the webinar and sharing your wonderful ideas. Thank you for all the attendees for joining the webinar with us. I hope this webinar would be helpful to you and take your e-commerce business to the next level. Recording of this webinar, and yes, the 25% discount coupon code for CedCommerce PWA theme and 3 months for Magento hosting for running and new customers on all the packages from Nexus will be shared soon. Feel free to contact us from the details showing on your screen. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.